Located in the heart of Parktown, an area of great historical importance in Johannesburg, St George's was built by renowned architect Sir Herbert Baker in 1904. Baker was a prominent force in South African architecture and is best known for his design of the Union Buildings in Pretoria. He also received acclaim for the work he did in India and throughout the British Empire, and he was eventually knighted. During his time in South Africa, Sir Herbert Baker lived in Parktown for a number of years and was commissioned to design many houses, schools and buildings in the area, such as Northwards, the home of Sir George Albu, the rectory at St George's and St John's College. All have been declared heritage sites, representative of architecture in South Africa at the beginning of the 20th century. St George's held personal significance for Sir Herbert Baker. It was not just one of the many buildings he designed, but it was also the church where 3 of his 4 children were christened. This is the story of the building of a large pipe organ, incorporating age-old traditions alongside modern technology, by Rieger Orgelbau of Austria in the small landmark Johannesburg Parish Church, where no building alterations were permitted.
The church had its centenary in 2004, and it was asked what various members would like to do, whether they could make a donation to the church. There had been a lot of talk about the need for a new organ. The old organ was good, but it certainly wasn't splendid. And it was something that we felt would make a lot of sense for us to come to that party.
Nicky and Strilly Oppenheimer have had a long association with St George's and were married there. One of the family homes on the Brenthurst estate was designed by Herbert Baker. It was their idea to get involved in the centenary project of acquiring a world-class organ for the church.
Now, the church is our parish church, and it has been our parish church through the generations. And so that's an important thing in any Anglican member, in any Anglican's life. Now, both Strill and I have always loved organ music and choral works and the sound of the human voice. And church music is unbelievably rich and splendid. And so we've always liked that, and so it's appropriate that we should be associated with the new organ. I, of course, have another association with organs in that when I was at prep school, my voice was so bad that they banned me from the church, and the only place they could put me was behind the organ, where I pumped the church organ. And that maybe gave me some love of it, because of course you had to know what you were doing, and if you hadn't pumped air into the organ at the vital moment, this was very unpopular with the organ player and spoilt the whole service, so you had to know what was going on. So maybe that knocked some sense into me.
It is January, but there is no sign of the organ. Delays at Durban Harbour, and then by customs authorities, who had probably never encountered an organ before, caused the arrival date to be postponed by 2 weeks. Although it may seem that there is plenty of time for the organ to be installed before its opening in April, this is not the case. Assembling thousands of components will take the construction team at least 3 weeks, and then the tonal finishing will require twice as much time again on the part of the voicing team. With no time to lose, a band of helpers assist 4 organ builders from Rieger to empty the container and to store timber, pipes, soundboards, the blower, parts of the action, tools, and 1,001 other bits and pieces into the back of the church, which has been cordoned off for as long as it takes to get the instrument erected. Besides assembling the organ in the church, the construction crew completes the finishing of much of the woodwork on site to ensure a perfect fit. Matthias Dobler, leader of the construction crew, fashions and fits the padded springs to the action, ensuring that each key will present identical resistance to the player. With the wooden framework finally in place, 51 facade pipes are put into position. Behind them, and never to be seen by anyone but organ tuners, will be another 1,933 pipes, some wooden, most metal. Although it seems that rapid progress is being made and the organ is almost complete, that is not the case. The voicing team still need to do their work, pipe by pipe.
The role of the voicer in an organ project is to take completed organ pipes and then to make minute changes to the area around the mouth of the pipe and the base of the pipe, because by changing the dimensions and by changing the angles involved, he can amend the way in which the pipe produces sound. And a good voicer can impart a really excellent quality to an instrument. And that is why having a great voice is important to get a great organ.
A voicing machine, which looks like a tiny organ, is used to test the sound of each pipe individually and with its neighbours. The pipes are made overly long in the factory and are cut shorter at this stage to bring them up to the correct pitch. A brass tongue is the key component of reed pipes, such as an oboe. The voicer shapes the curve to get the quality and loudness that he wants, fits it to the shallot or reed, and mounts it to the block that goes at the base of the pipe. He then fits an adjustable tuning spring that clamps the tongue at a point along its length. This will be used for tuning. With a resonator added, the pipe is placed on the voicing machine for testing and tuning, so that it can be compared with the others in the same stop. It's the job of the voicer to adjust the sound of each pipe individually to get each to sing in the way that he wants. He then has to get all 58 pipes in a keyboard stop to blend equally with each other, and then each stop to blend into an ensemble with the other stops, while simultaneously ensuring that the pulling out of one stop after another builds an alluring chorus. It takes a highly trained ear to get this right.